The beginning of the end for Reconstruction was the election of 1876. It pitted the Democrat Samuel J. Tilden versus the Republican Rutherford B. Hayes. On election night, it appeared that the Democrat had the advantage. Tilden had 250,000 more votes in the popular vote and needed only one more vote in the Electoral College to win. The magic number was 185. Tilden had 184, while Hayes only had 165. 20 votes were in dispute. Now, just take my word for it, one of those votes from Oregon should have gone to Republican. But 19 of those 20 votes came from 3 different states: Louisiana, South Carolina, and Florida. When the ballots were counted, Democrats won all 3. However, there were charges of illegality and corruption in the voting process. Now, there is a process of reviewing the whole thing, where state officials must certify the election process. But guess who do you think controlled the review boards? The Republican Party. What are they going to say? There was cheating involved. So the Republicans claimed that they won those 3 states, while the Democrats claimed that they won because they had the votes. Well, each party had its own electors, and the party that wins the election has its own electors cast its votes. The problem with this is that with the party that the election is still contested, which party's electors get counted. What happened was that the electors from both parties show up to cast their vote. So you have 2 sets of electoral votes from these 3 states: South Carolina, Florida, and Louisiana. 19 Democrat, 19 Republican. Of course, they needed to be, one group had to be selected. You can't have 2 votes per state. So they all sent to Congress. What does the Constitution say about this? It says that the President of the Senate, who is the Vice President of the United States, in front of a joint meeting of Congress, opens and counts the votes. But which set to count? Remember, the Vice President was a Republican, and the Republican said, let them count whichever one he wants to count. The Democrats, of course, will disagree and say that since no candidate had a majority, the House of Representatives should decide. And this was the one thing that the Democrats controlled since the elections of 1874. So Congress is deadlocked over this issue. Inauguration Day back then was March 4th, so you had lots of time to handle this. And the election was back in November, so you have plenty of time in order to settle the dispute. We don't have that luxury today when the elections are in November and Inauguration Day is January 20th.